against us are really a part of a cult, right? And we're under a persecution, I as Rastafari. So this is like putting this on blast. This is a call for I Rastafari. We could say einity or unity, where the various different mansions, the mansions in our Father's house need to be able to communicate and must communicate. We have like the technology, we have the wherewithal, the means to communicate, because in this time, it's going to become very clear that whether we have these other little petty issues amongst different camps or houses or so-called mansions, really more correctly mansions, so-called houses, because in my Father's house, right? And this is a message to Rastafari, and this is the message to the various different mansions of Rastafari at home and abroad. You need to have someone within your camp or your mansion to be like a liaison and to be able to communicate. Ask whatever questions. Let's reason. Come make I reason. As the word says, we know about the judgment, right? Others talk about the laws, statutes, and commandments, right? Well, these are things that we have to study to show ourselves approved to Elohim, to I, Abba and Father, Qedamawi, Haile, Selassie, as workmen that need not be ashamed. Now, we see all these attacks against I, the Rastafari, what they want to call Rastafari-isms or schisms or other kind of things. And we can look at that in the ways that we look at that, but rightly and exactly, we know what our Father has said to I. What he has said to I. For his part, he glories in the Bible, and we need to really understand the word and the revelation he has for us. So that communication amongst mansion to mansion, and we're speaking whether it's the Bobo Shanti, right, or the 12 tribes of Israel, right, or Naya Bingi. We're just speaking about some of the main mansions, or whether camps or houses. Really, like we said, there's only one house. Like in our Father's house, there are many mansions, right? And we all are members, right, of that corporate body of the King of Kings, Christ. Awo, Amen. So this is basically a message from your brother, right, from your Wendem, Wendem Ras, Adonis Tafari of the Lion of Judah Society of His Imperial Majesty, the LOJ Society, putting out this message, especially at this time of persecution and tribulation, or we can even call it judgment, right? Judgment, because we don't run from judgment. The rest of them talk about the laws, statutes, and the commandments. But what about judgment? All right, so we have to put it together, brothers and sisters, and especially the brethren, right? So we got to put aside all that petty stuff. Right? Or if we have these things to reason, let's come together on our own platforms and create these communications, right? So we can share, the intel, right? The intel of the King of Kings, Christ, with one another. Iron sharpen iron, right? Because being so-called divided is not in the best interest, right, of the kingdom of the King of Kings, seeing that we are the ones that even recognize as being authorized by heaven, by Jah and man, to carry that banner of salvation. So what does the word say to us? The word says to us, for the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of Elohim, right? At the house of I, right? Must begin first at the house of the power, even the first power of the Trinity, the Father, right? I of his own namesake. And if it begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of Elohim, Qedamawi, Haile, Selassie? Awo, Amen, like all these naysayers, right? And these Israelites, right? But